Now, on the MPO side, like you've been mentioning, the finish was absolutely electric. So many players were in it down the stretch. At the very, very end, we had Kyle Klein made it to the clubhouse at 26 under. Calvin Heimberg just had to par 18 to also be at 26 under. He went OB off his drive and then gave himself a circle 2 look to save his par, but
which was crazy.
Missed that. It was a wild shot.
Kyle also choked on 18 because he threw the tee shot on 18. 18 was a crazy hole. The tee shot there was insane. And Kyle, or no, it wasn't 18 that he choked. It was, man, what hole was it?
Was it 17?
No, 7 because 17.
Well, it's also weird because we're not looking at actual holes.
I know.
Skipped.
17 was the tough par 3 that he did.
It was 14, which would have been 16 because that he had the perfect drive and didn't get up and down. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. That's where it was.
Yeah.
It was when he was still playing really hot. He piped his drive like fist pumped and like it was a beautiful drive and then didn't get up and down. Yeah, it was that hole. And that was a huge moment there because he had every opportunity to get further under par, but even still, I mean, his charge was insane. 12 under was a crazy round.
And it was 12 under with 3 holes missing because
he went 12 for 15.
Yeah, because due to they had a storm delay, like a 2-hour storm delay, I think.
Yeah.
So they played this final round. I think they said they had 2 hours and 15 minutes from tee off till it got dark.
I've never seen them hustle like that. And you talk about like Gannon and Antilla, 2 guys that are a bit slower on that lead card, and I've never seen those guys hustle. It was like one guy off the tee pad, next guy on, throwing like it was like Brody's dream scenario.
Brody was probably sitting back watching his coverage, like finally someone gets it because it is a tough scene. I won't say fully. I'm gonna say tough scene. Like this course could have played long, right?
Yeah.
They were still in foursomes. They took 3 holes out, but they played this round in literally I think like 2 hours.
It was fast.
Was it just minus 3? It was only 3 holes out of it. So we'll call it 2.5 hours if you add those 3 holes back in. We'll give them 10 minutes a hole for those 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
so fast.
what are the freaking live disc golf haters gonna say when the full round's 2.5 hours to sit down and watch coverage and Jomez is an hour and a half? Like that's what it could be if people had their pace of play picked up.
No, it's true. I mean,
it's wild.
They were motivated out there. Maybe they just need to start every.
They need to start every event.
Needs to tee off.
Yeah.
Racing.
Look,
daylight.
You got 2 hours till it's dark out. So if you want to
if
you want to play glow, take your time.
Dude, the 15 hole thing was crazy because I personally I was totally fine with it as a solution. I think
it worked out.
I would say it was a pretty creative solution, honestly.
Because they already had people on the course and they were trying to figure out how to shorten it.
So I was pretty when I heard it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I respect it. And what it turned into was like almost like this sprint. Like just taking 3 holes out was perfect enough that it still felt like a pretty complete round of golf, but it was just a little bit quicker. Like you had to get to where you were trying to go a little bit faster. And it felt like a sprint round of golf, and it was very exciting. And it tied into the way that round was because there were so many people that were in contention. There was just no chance to catch your breath because people were finishing their round so much quicker, and it was like, oh my goodness, it was wild.
Now we got to talk about the man of the hour, Niklas Antilla. He took down his first win. I think they said the first European. No, because that's not Simon. Must be the first. They said something that they brushed by it and it kept going. Maybe it's just first finish player to win a Pro Tour event. Doesn't matter. It's his first Pro Tour event. It feels almost a long time coming, although he's young into his career. Similar to AB, similar to so many Gannon Burr when he got his first win, where their career hasn't been that long. They've just been close multiple times to where it feels like a long time coming. And I didn't think he was going to do it. So he had a double bogey on 6, which
double bogey.
That definitely slowed some momentum. He picked it back up. Then, same hole as Kyle Klein missed, hole 14, although the way, which in the round, what gets confusing is that was played as almost hole 16.
Yeah.
Flow-wise. The way Niklas did it, though, was a literally 17-foot putt airball.
He didn't airball. He chained it out.
Was it a chain out? It was a bad putt. It wasn't a
chain out. Let me be clear. It barely clipped the top right and just
that. You're right.
out.
You're right.
Yeah.
It was not a good putt.
It was not a good putt.
Yeah.
It was not a chain out.
It was a missed putt.
It was a missed putt.
Yeah.
But it was an ugly putt. It was one of those putts that I was like, there's the moment got to him. And so I watched that in my head because at this point, Kyle, I think, had just finished at 26 or was on 18 as this happened. I'm pretty sure he just finished at 26 and was watching the coverage. So Niklas had to go birdie to win by 1, and he missed that putt was like what made him have to go birdie. And so in my head, it was over. It was like, this guy's like the nerves just got to him. Got the birdie on 17, 18 left himself with right outside the circle's edge. It was tough to see because it was dark.
Yeah, it was like probably a foot out.
A long putt for the win
in like the dark.
Had he missed it, would have just been a playoff. So it wasn't end of the world if he missed it. Most confident putt I've ever seen someone throw. Just dead center, hard of the chains, no doubt that it was in. And then he just released raw emotion.
It was awesome
for like the next
huge
5
gallery
minutes.
Too. Huge gallery. It was a sweet moment.
Like once he had the hat on, he just immediately started crying.
It was great.
Wow. It's just what you love seeing. Like, I mean, obviously you don't love seeing people cry, but in this case you do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was just raw emotion of like you knew how much that win meant to him, and now that it's off his back, I mean, Discmania's got themselves one heck of a team.
This is gonna be the season of players just like finally getting that win. Who's next on our list now? Of like if we scroll down a little bit, is there anybody else that
has Marweed got one? He's not really been like in it.
Yeah,
Ezra Robinson, I feel like Joseph Anderson could be up there.
Yeah, Ezra Robinson's not a bad one. He's kind of
Gavin Rathbun.
Gossage. It's Gossage.
Oh, Gossage.
Gossage is just kind of the next up guy. I feel like
man.
Who's been around and just needs to get over the hill. Proctor, you could argue as well, but yeah, I feel like this season so far, AB and Antilla now, it's like okay, this is getting scary because all these guys who couldn't win before, and like maybe that was your one thing to say going into the final round, like, well, they've never done it before. They're not proven. Well, now they are, and they're going to be all that much more dangerous. And yeah, Antilla is awesome. You can tell that he's just put a ton of work into his game. He's just accurate. You know, he's just smooth and accurate. He throws great shots. I mean, some of his turnover backhands and like hyzer flip to turn backhands were so good, throwing some really difficult lines. And that putt, man. He has got a putt that it looks like if he was having a bad day, it would be really hard to control because he uses his wrist as such a heavy lever in that putt. He really pops it. But when it is on, it is a thing of beauty. And he throws some just tremendous putts, and it won him the tournament.
He hits, I think he hit a pretty big one early in the tournament, too. It was coverage-wise, everyone was kind of struggling at the exact same time. Like everyone kind of in the lead or pushing in contention was kind of like starting to crumble a little bit on all these holes, and I think it was to save a bogey or a par from like 50 feet. And it was, just a very confident stroke. Yeah. It must have been to save a par. But yeah, a very exciting tournament. I liked the course. I think it played.
I think it was great.
Played great. I think the changes went well. I didn't hear any grumbling this year. Like last year, you heard a lot more grumbling. So I don't know if it just happened behind closed doors or if players liked it too.
Way different. I mean, I thought the course was really good. I thought it had a really nice mix of shots, and like I said, it was a very much a placement course. There's a really good variety of lines. It was not just like reach back and rip type course at all. I thought the OB was pretty well placed to where it wasn't unreasonable, but it was there. You definitely they put some around greens that made things a little bit of a decision, like do I run it or not. They used the fairways well. They used the course. There wasn't like, I think, and that course it doesn't just like yell golf course.
Exactly,
it really doesn't. A lot of those shots, just the way they played along that property, it just looked like a solid piece of land, like a cool park. It really didn't seem like, golf course.
It's how Lake Waco felt to me too.
Yeah, I think that and the Pro Tour, you gotta like the more and more they do this, they're just gonna keep getting better and better. And hey, it's cool because like there was a big gallery and they were able to accommodate that. I mean, I was kind of like, I thought the gallery looked pretty good because you saw cards that were not lead card with good followings, which is going to happen when you get guys like Calvin Heimberg on your chase card. But which he made a great run. Good for him. Good to see him healthy. But I mean, when they panned to the line on 18 at the end, I was like, wow, that might be 300-400 people. Like it was a really really solid grouping of fans. So yeah, I thought overall it was great. I mean, that event, man. Let me tell you, when you're looking at that leaderboard, I'm not even kidding you. With probably when the lead card had like 10 holes to play, there was probably 12 people that could have won that tournament.
No, I thought the event was already called at that point. It was over.
Yeah, well, it was over. Like, I mean, Calvin was cooked, and it was make or break birdie for ABs. I'm not even going to get into that.